If you're
Mhm.
an adult child or if you're a power of attorney for someone, I implore you, ask questions.
Absolutely.
Any question. It does not matter.
Hmm.
If somebody's at the hospital and you see on the board in the hospital room that they were no salt diet, ask about that. Why are they a no salt diet? It might be something that's very prudent for right now, or it might be something that's in their chart from 3, 5, 6 years ago and isn't germane to today.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard across the USA. And I'm here with the amazing Daphne Davis from Pinnacle Senior Placements. And Daphne, we are talking about who will care for the caregiver. This is such a vitally important topic. And most certainly, we hope to be, Answers for Elders is to be a resource. But there are amazing resources out there for families across the USA. What happens with families and what do they typically know and what do they typically don't know about the resources that are out there?
So we just finished talking about the power that an adult child has and some of the responsibility that's there. And this is something that you as an adult child to your parents, this is the scenario I'm going to go, or if you're the niece or the nephew to an aunt or uncle, or the power of attorney to a friend, this is something that you can do, and that's gathering information. One place to go in most counties have a resource called Aging and Disability. And that's a really good source of information to finding out what services are in your county or in your community.
Hmm.
It might take a little bit of work to find that information, but on the internet you can find it, or networking with people, or making a phone call to one person might get you there. But it is a good resource. Usually, many of those resources are free or they can be at a reduced rate through the county. And that's through your taxes. So don't
Right.
don't have any embarrassment about that. That's through your taxes.
Hmm.
Make use of those services that your county has. That's one broad resource, but also another resource in your community. You may have a person that's called a placement navigator, or
Hmm.
someone who does placement and referral for housing and care for seniors. And that
Hmm.
would be another resource for you. And that's what I do.
Hmm.
I'm a resource for people. Typically, throughout the United States, our services are free to the consumer. And so we're a point of information. We're a place that I call myself an information post. And when you reach out to someone, that's not saying, oh, I'm ready to move or I need,
No.
XYZ. It's a place to gather information. Another place that you can sometimes find resources is through your church. If you've got a faith system,
Hmm.
your pastor, your rabbi, a priest, they may know of some resources for you or people to help you get
Hmm.
through a situation, or just to inform you about how does this system work. But I want to talk about when people go to their doctor's office, or when they go to get admitted to the hospital, or you're in the ER. As the patient, I'll call you a patient, you have the right to ask any question. And I
Yep.
want to really impose upon you the idea that you can ask the question again. If
Hmm.
it didn't make sense or you're not clear about it, ask again.
Hmm.
It's your body, it's your life. You are the consumer, you are, the person who's getting a service. Be bold and just ask questions.
Hmm.
If you're
Hmm.
an adult child or if you're a power of attorney for someone, I implore you, ask questions.
Absolutely.
Any question. It does not matter.
Hmm.
If somebody's at the hospital and you see on the board in the hospital room that they were no salt diet, ask about that. Why are they a no salt diet? It might be something that's very prudent for right now, or it might be something that's in their chart from 3, 5, 6 years ago and isn't germane to today.
Hmm.
Things that get into your health chart stay there for a long time.
Hmm.
Another scenario is to ask, is this person, as you as an adult child or a power of attorney, is this person medically stable? Do we need to be at the hospital any longer?
Yeah.
Sometimes Sometimes it happens that they'll stay longer than they have to, and then we run into something that's called being institutionalized. You're in an institution of care, and so then kind of your will and your vitality can lessen a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
getting someone out of the hospital can be something that can raise a baseline if they're medically stable.
Right.
Really important,
Mm-hmm.
because there's another little catch that we use. It's called AMA, against medical authorization, and you do not want to discharge AMA
Right.
without. I'm not a legal person, but no, just through experience, sometimes that can affect your insurance coverage if you
Right.
leave a place AMA or against medical
Yeah.
authorization, and that's where being medically stable is really important.
Right.
And then have the hospitalist or the nurse or whatever explain to you for your given story, what does my loved one need to be at to be medically stable? What is the goal here? And those are
Right.
legitimate questions.
Right. And one thing I will bring up too is if you're caring for someone with dementia or Alzheimer's, the Alzheimer's Association has a helpline that is 24/7, and it is staffed by real clinically qualified people. It's not just an answering machine. And I think one of the things that I know it's been helpful to so many people, I refer that line all the time because dementia is so difficult. And like you were talking about the difficult days and the things that people go through. So these are all resources that you can go to that don't cost you a dime, and yet you can find the resources. Like somebody calls you, Daphne, right away, you know exactly, you're going to ask the right questions. You're going to help them ask the right questions of the people that they're talking to, and you're going to help the family get on the same page, which I think is another whole other piece that we're going to discuss later in the show today. So obviously, Daphne, you are the information post. You find care options for families, and you are primarily located in the greater Puget Sound region, but you're also part of an organization called the NPRA, which you can also refer to anyone in the US, can you not?
Correct. That's National Placement Referral Alliance,
Mm-hmm.
MPRA, and then off of the A is the
Mm-hmm.
word alliance
Right.
dot org. And that's the website that you can find them at. And we are a trade association that has standards that placement and referral agents must adhere to in terms of our code of ethics. And at that location, at that website, mpraalliance.org, you are able to, in your area, put in a zip code and find a vetted person like myself, a
Mm-hmm.
referral or
Mm-hmm.
placement agent.
Mm-hmm.
And they can help you in terms of navigating what options are available in your community. What that means is someone should meet with you if you choose to move on, but first they start with a phone call, ask questions, figure out where you're at in this journey, and then
Mm-hmm.
they would meet with you. And if you are at the place of needing housing and care, they should be able to tour with you as well. Meaning
That's
they'll go
so
to assisted
important.
living, they'll go to residential care communities, they'll go to memory care with you. And so you're not bombarded with a language that you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
An ally that's going to explain the jargon or has
Mm-hmm.
prepared you for the jargon. More importantly, though, they should know through conversation, they're going to gather information about what your highest values are and stay true to those highest values and not get off in the weeds of something that doesn't mean anything to you.
And for those of you that are interested in reaching out directly to Daphne, you can reach her at pinnacleseniorplacements.com. And your 800 number is
855-734-1500.
and we'll be right back right after this. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.